Alrighty, hello. This is just a quick little demonstration of the good old Assorted Bridge Consoles. So they are very simple in design, because I'm not good at making things that are very fancy looking. So we've got giant empty microcontrollers on the back just to add a little depth and decoration. Also door panel edges there surround it. Here we've got a whole bunch of equipment. So without all of this stuff, a lot of this stuff doesn't work. You can see here's the map. Very nice map. I like this map. And that's all there is to that one. This one here, we have sea and sky monitors. You would connect your cameras to those for, you could have a camera that watches the sky and a camera that watches the sea. That's kind of the point of that one. Monitor power. And of course, these don't connect to anything. You would connect your own security cameras up to this one. That would power it on. You can see they're on, but they're not doing anything. And here we can turn this on, and you can see we've got a pretty simple map here. And we've got the more advanced map there. And here we've got a bunch of numbers. Those are part of the little mini game. See, the lights are on. Over here, you've got more cameras and more numbered buttons. Here you've got flip switches that don't really do anything. Well, they're flip switches that do things internally to themselves, so they're just kind of dummy panels. And then you would connect your stuff to that. So if you had steam turbines of some sort, you could connect all the stuff you needed here. So you have an engine. So this was built kind of for a ship. It was built to be paired with Large Ship Powerplant or something like that. This one was meant to be paired with that one, and that's why it has that. Spawning. And then toggle button, that does that, that just does that, makes that flash. It's the engine condition, turbine condition, green, blue for cold, green for good. Unlock the use panel, I don't remember what this was. But there it is, 111. Here's a bunch of fuse panels and secret code. So you got backup battery, backup generator, main generator, and then here we've got start puzzle. This is the puzzle. You can see it takes a long time to turn the key. You really gotta want to do it. There you go, you've got some numbers here. Don't mind that the numbers don't match what's actually on them, because that's just telling you the order, right? 1, 2, 3, and then 4 over here. So it's the code that I created was 7596. 7596. See? You got 4 new ones. This number, then that one, next one, and with this number, 84311. 84311. Bam. And after that, you just select the buttons. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. There it goes. Disco mode. And then if you keep pushing buttons, eventually bad things happen. I believe one of these sequences shuts off the cooling system for the engines, and another one sets off a fire alarm. It's kind of trial by fire with some of them, but they are color coded. So green is good button, orange means you're gonna blow up your engine, and red means you are going to set off a fire alarm. And I think this also has something, maybe? I don't remember. I think I originally had more, but then I realized that I can put the cool microcontroller thing on the back if I had more, so I just took away the other 6 that were up here and just left these 3. You can see the backup battery doesn't actually connect to anything, which would be something you could, you know, create a microcontroller for, that when this drops below a certain point, this turns on, that activates, and everything is okay again. At least for a little bit. Put these back on. Stop the puzzle. Then you can make the numbers whatever you want, right? And mess with your friends a bit. See, we got a wind speed. It's also a radiation detector. Radar lock detector. Radiation, fog, outside temperature, rain. Then a buzzer. A buzzer goes off if it's radiation detected, so I can actually show this off really easily. Honestly, I think this is like the greatest thing ever. Fuel rod. Right, because when this thing breaks, it sets off a bunch of radiation. Surely that's going to pick up some radiation now, right? There it goes. See, radiation is climbing. So there you go, radiation. Detects radiation. And unfortunately, when we spawn that again, there's still going to be some passive radiation left, so when we spawn it again, it's probably still going to be going off. Yep. It'll keep going off until that radiation dissipates. Or it'll only go off until I do that. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool. I actually managed to use radiation detector. I don't know about radar lock. I don't know if it actually works because I have no way of testing it. But yeah. You can see we got a compass sensor, speed sensors, radar detector. So that's the thing that detects radar lock apparently. The physics sensors are for the maps, wherever those are, these ones right here. You can see you can zoom them in. Sonar, or sorry, that's radar, and you can use sonar as well. I believe the bottom of this has a sonar on it right there. Yeah, there's a sonar right there. So that would be the only part that you'd have to put somewhere else, because that would have to go on the bottom of the ship. And you can also change it to night mode, which I think is pretty cool. And then, I don't know what 3 is, but yeah. It even tells you the range, or the scaling. 2 kilometers, 1 kilometer, and 500 meters, 250, 125, and it just keeps getting smaller. You can see that's as far in as we can zoom. And I think it's pretty cool. Pretty good map, honestly. Oh, I want to turn on disco mode. None of you. Oh, and if you are green. Okay. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4 turns on disco mode. Plus, I think I need to turn on start puzzle. Possibly. Oh, come on. Not quite yet. Oh, I think it's kind of random, isn't it? No, maybe not. Maybe I do need to do this. Is it 7? Is Is it 7596, something like that? H 84311. 84311. There it goes. So you have to have both these buttons pushed and have to do the little code thing. I mean, you can make the code whatever you want, you can make the numbers whatever you want, it's all changeable. Again, just like most things, the colors are all changeable as well. Don't need that. So we can open up this. You see there's one called secret code, and you can input whatever code you want, and you can put the numbers on here using additive. Okay, very important. This is additive, so that when it's off, there's nothing there. So you can't cheese your way to the answer by like peeking through. Same with these ones. These ones are also just on the top. So you couldn't even see them unless you knew exactly where they were and looked directly at them. Though I do think that they don't have a border on them, which is kind of a giveaway, if I remember correctly. I believe they don't have an outline on them. No, wait, maybe. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it's right here. So it doesn't... I guess none of the blocks have borders on them when you spawn it in. That was a little bit of a concern I had. That's alright. And you can see wind speed is 0 because, well, we're in a hangar. No wind in here. But it knows the wind direction, apparently. You can see it outputs the wind direction in degrees, but somehow it goes above 360. I don't know how that works. Maybe because it's in a negative right now? I have no idea. It's very strange. If I change the direction of it... Huh. What if I like walk over it? Wind direction is changing very, very slowly. But yeah. That's everything there is to this. It's not super complicated. You can see there's the microcontroller right there. Button sequence times 16. So this is just an absolutely monstrous... Yeah, it's a monstrous thing of just ands, and I think there's an OR in here somewheres, maybe? Nope, just a whole bunch of ands. So you can see disco lights, disable cooling system, runaway diesel generator, and fire alarm / alert system. So what this would do on the... So what that would be connected to is if we... Oh, not that. I need to exit. So if we were to go to the Large Ship Powerplant, there are relay switches for the cooling system. So you would connect that output to the external input of those. And then you would also connect it to the external output of this one here. And the throttle override would be your diesel runaway. So this is kind of like a double showcase here, but this is just to kind of make a point. When you power it on, right, start the generator, does its thing. See, coolant pumps are on. Anti-drown system, which is a neat little system that I created that can stop your engine from drowning. And I believe if I turn it on now, it'll be fine. Yeah. You'll be fine. So basically what it does is if water were to wash over these, right, because you know how big ships types of water behave. So essentially, if these were to get covered with water, their input would drop significantly. It would drop to like less than 1. So the very simple controller there, this like when it goes less than 1, it opens up these valves. And those valves allow air from those tanks to enter the system instead of water, keeping your engine from drowning. Hence the name anti-drown system. You can see coolant temperature, coolant pressure, coolant temperature, engine temperature. And here's your diesel runaway. You can see it's not anything too impressive. And your cooling system would be that. For some reason your coolant pressure goes up to 60. I don't know why that happens, but the flow rate goes to 0. And I believe that's it running out of fuel, right? Yeah, for some reason fuel won't flow through here, but I think that, yeah. It's running out of fuel for some reason. Let's see, let's check it. I think it's just that it's running out of, yeah, it's running out of pressure. Yeah. You can turn it off. And then turn it back on. We'll see if it powers back up properly. Yeah, there it goes. So throttle override works for a second until it starts trying to bring too much fuel in. Let's see, are you doing your thing? So for some reason it's like just not flowing out. I guess that doesn't work. I don't know. It's fine. Anyways, you would probably connect that to some better system of fluid tanks. That's just for like getting it running. Over here we have our fancy schmancy boilers. So you can see furnace temperature increases. You can actually see the furnace right there. You can look inside. You can see that, you know, everything's running. I also like greened out the color scheme, added a bit of copper coloring in there as well. A pretty nifty little thing. I say little, it's pretty big actually. And this cool ladder that I made, because I learned that they can be spaced 1 block apart. Yeah, you gotta be careful of that. There's a lot of back pressure in there. And when you open it, it just launches you. You see there's underwater welding torches in case something breaks in here. You can see there's all these little generators in here. They all power up to 20 RPS. So as you can see, a danger of this thing is getting launched sky high from back pressure. So like if we were to go way over here, can this song not? I don't like it. So if we go over here, it'll do it again. And that launches us all the way to the ceiling. If you're not careful, that's you getting crushed against the ceiling. At least if this was real life, but this is Stormworks, so that doesn't happen. You would just go hit your head on the ceiling and then fall back down. You can see we've got a whole array of this stuff here. can see we got a bunch of generators, 4 of them. You see, this is a massive 12 5x5 cylinder engine. An average, you've got some toggles, got a bunch of averages actually that are averaging out a whole ton of things. You've got the engine control unit, throttle override. Whoa. Yeah, well, it's kind of struggling right now because it can't pull any more fuel in. So, it is what it is. But I think that should be good. Kind of a double explanation here of 2 things at once, but that's okay because it was kind of needed in order to tie some of the functions together. And I mean, it's, you know, I can use it for 2 things now, so it's 2 birds with 1 stone. Anyways, that's all for this one. Goodbye.